principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The principle of correspondence is the second principle of 7 in total, and they may be used in conjunction with each other to really master your world. The 3 planes. In order to comprehend this particular principle, we must first consider what Hermeticists call the 3 great planes of existence. These can be broken down further, but for the purpose of this video, we will keep it simple. These 3 great planes are the great physical plane, the great mental plane, and the great spiritual plane. Now, this is a simplified version of reality and one that may be easily comprehended by the human brain. All planes are of the same thing. They differ only in degree and rate of vibration. For example, the slowest vibration and therefore the densest planes of reality are seen within that of the physical planes and the energetic world of matter that we see around us, while the fastest and highest vibrational frequencies can be seen in the energetic form of light existing within the spiritual realms. As above, so below. As below, so above. This maxim establishes and embodies the truth that there is harmony, agreement, and correspondence between all 3 planes. This is because whether the grossest form of matter or the lightest spiritual dimensions, all that differs is rate of vibration and degree. All exist within the All, or God, unified and interconnected as a whole and fundamentally one. The mirror. Now, remembering that there is a correspondence between all 3 planes because of a fundamental oneness, it's important to understand that for every physical phenomenon, there is then a corresponding mental and spiritual phenomenon. So let's turn our attention to what we already know to truly understand this principle. If we dwell in a room that is organized and spacious, our mind will likely mirror this. If we feel physically weak, you will likely observe a corresponding weakness in your mental and spiritual planes at that time. Even our posture and the way we present ourselves on the outside world with our physical appearance gives others a deep insight into our inner world. Now, one of the coolest things I think about the principle of correspondence is that we can see it in action simply by peering into the physical world around us and taking a look at the macrocosm and the microcosm. Gazing at the night sky, we see the immensity of space and the millions and millions of stars that are separated by light years of distance. On the other hand, science tells us that the human body consists of empty atoms, and 99.99999% of our solid form is in fact empty space. The atom itself carries many visual similarities to the universe. With this information, we begin to comprehend the universe that exists within us. Seeing how the macrocosm mirrors the microcosm in other ways, we may recognize the resemblance between a helix nebula and the human eye, as well as the Fibonacci sequence that may be seen all over life, within the smallest of plants to the most enormous galaxies. Now, I love how as science evolves, it continues to validate the Hermetic principles that have been taught long before the science was there to back it up. 'Tis true without lying, certain and most true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below. Isaac Newton. How can we apply this law? As within, so without. The mental and spiritual planes are of a less dense, lighter dimension, other than the world that we see around us, the physical dimension that's more dense and solid. So things what happens is that things first are manifested in the lighter, more spiritual dimensions of existence. They then gain enough momentum to project themselves into the physical dimensions of existence. So, therefore, the inner world is actually the realm of cause, and the outer is the realm of effect. Now, that kind of indicates that our inner world creates our outer world, and this is absolutely huge. Simply because so many people think that they must change their outer world in order to change their inner world, and they don't, they wonder why then that they don't receive the results that they hoped and expected. For example, you may think that traveling the world will make you happy, and it may at first, but once the initial excitement has worn off, your problems have simply followed you to another setting. You may think that climbing a corporate ladder your whole life will bring you happiness, but unless that happiness is cultivated from within, you may face a midlife crisis when the top of the ladder is reached and you still feel an emptiness at the core. Consider your outer experience in life. If there is much beauty, harmony, love, joy, bliss, and light that surrounds you, then this is a reflection of what's inside of you. And if your outer world you consider to be dark and troubled, this is a reflection of your inner world. Take your attention away from controlling your outer world and begin to work on yourself. The only way out is in. So, in order to change our outer world, we must stand at the cause of our life and turn our attention inwards where it all begins. So, many alchemists, have come to understand that true alchemy is actually a process of alchemizing the internal world and undergoing this process of self-transformation. Now that we understand how the holographic universe mirrors and projects outwards, we must turn our attention towards the attitudes, beliefs, thoughts, and emotions that assist in creating our outer reality, and ultimately aim to improve the quality of them so that our outer world mirrors the quality of the world that we have cultivated from within. How can I transform from within? Beliefs. A belief is a thought that we keep thinking. If we hold a particular belief, such as people are bad, then the universe will show us exactly that, and we will continue to bring negative people into our life. See your belief systems and question them. Design them to fit what you want to see in the world. Past conditioning. We are like clay that may have been molded into the shape of society, our parents, or other relationships around us. We must question our programming and our conditioning, striving to see the world according to our true core values rather than living someone else's. Heal. If we harbor an inner world full of trauma that is not being addressed and consciously released, this storehouse of pain will wreak havoc upon our outer world as the universe constantly mirrors the trapped emotion within us, ultimately creating further trauma. Love yourself. Those that tolerate unhealthy, toxic, or abusive relationships unfortunately lack the love for themselves. If we create love towards ourselves, we may watch it be reciprocated in our outer world in a myriad of ways. Learning to love ourselves will mirror the people, jobs, habits, and experiences in our life that only emanate further love. Firstly, because of the principle, but also simply because we wouldn't stand for anything less than the love we give to ourselves. Thoughts. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Your thoughts create your reality. This encapsulates the first principle of mentalism. So much of our inner world is a result of the thoughts we think. We must create peace, positivity, and mastery within our thinking mind in order to see similar results in our outer world. Why is this such a profound teaching? So, in my opinion, actually, one of the most profound profound lessons within this principle is that it actually enables us to know the unknown. So, you see, much of our reality is actually created on a subconscious level. So, in order to see what's going on within the shadows of our internal world, the subconscious, we can simply look at our external experiences that may reveal to us what we are unable to see. For example, the things we don't like in others, we usually don't like about ourselves. If our outer world is chaotic, we are likely experiencing a chaotic inner world, perhaps without realizing. If we continuously see problems related to money in our life, we are likely holding an unconscious negative belief system around money. If a certain pattern is repeating in our relationships, there is perhaps unresolved trauma that is simply mirroring the same experience time and time again. Using the principle of correspondence, one can take the knowledge of one thing and apply the principle to another thing. Just as a knowledge of the principles of geometry enable man to measure distant suns and their movements while seated in his observatory, so a knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown, the Kybalion. Through alchemizing our inner worlds, we realize how we ourselves have absolute power. Though our outer world still has the power to influence, it's by no means dominant. It's incredibly empowering to realize the power that we have in at any given moment to create the life and reality of our dreams. Primarily, we can really stop blaming anything outside of ourselves for what we are experiencing in life. And though this may be a triggering concept for many, it may also be an empowering concept for many too, realizing that we can take responsibility for our life rather than getting caught in a disempowering world of victimhood and powerlessness. So, on a personal level, this principle has truly transformed my life. I look at the experiences that are unfolding in my external reality to kind of, as a teacher, to kind of guide me and indicate what I'm failing to see on my internal world. And then I allow my inner voice, the spiritual side of me, my intuition, I allow that to then guide me from then on, and allow it to guide me through this process of transformation based on what I see outwardly. So I can say that after truly integrating and actually, embodying these teachings of this principle, really integrating it into my being, that I've actually set out on this journey really to alchemize my inner world, transform my belief systems, heal my pains, unravel my conditioning, and silence the mind through mental alchemy. And this process of observing the mind through witness consciousness, I really apply all of these things because I truly know that through creating this kind of kingdom of heaven within me, that it will then project itself into my outer world. And I can definitely confirm that that's what's happened. The quality of my outer life has definitely improved so drastically since I started working with this principle. I'm not going to go into it because I'll be here for ages, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, after truly embarking on this journey, my outer life has reflected the heightened levels of love that I actually feel that I've cultivated from within myself, and I'm truly falling in love with life every single day. Every single day, I fall more in love with life. And when I actually think about it, even the name of this channel is actually based upon this very principle, because I fundamentally believe that in order to really change the world around us, in order to change the suffering that we see in the world and the pains of the world, in order to change all of that, we must first transform and alchemize the consciousness of humanity. So, through alchemizing and, transforming and raising the consciousness of humanity, then the earth itself will correspond with the heaven that we have created from within.